Hi, it's Janine Turner. I want to talk to you today about my Truth Act. My Truth Act. Yes, it's so incredibly important, I believe. And the inspiration for my Truth Act actually started about 3 years ago when I was studying the United States Constitution and starting my foundation, Constituting America. And I was listening to a seminar and I heard them talk about Federalist 62. And I thought, what's that? And since I have learned, The Federalist is a book that is comprised of 85 opinion editorials that were written 226 years ago by James Madison, John Jay, and Alexander Hamilton to explain the United States Constitution to the American people. Imagine that. People wanting to explain what was in the bill, so to speak. So they wanted to explain it thoroughly, and they wrote 85 brilliant essays explaining what they meant in these different articles and sections and clauses in the United States Constitution, and each separated by branches of government, what they intended it to be. And so when I heard Federalist Paper 62, I've also since written 85 essays of my own on the 85 Federalist Papers, and it's at constitutingamerica.org, my foundation. But listen to Federalist Paper 62. This is in my Truth Act. The internal effects of a mutable policy are still more calamitous. It poisons the blessing of liberty itself. It will be of little avail to the people that the laws are made by men of their own choice, if the laws be so voluminous that they cannot be read, or so incoherent that they cannot be understood. If they be repealed or revised before they are promulgated, or undergo such incessant changes that no man who knows what the law is today can guess what it will be tomorrow. Law is defined to be a rule of action, but how can that be a rule which is little known or less fixed? That was written by either Alexander Hamilton or James Madison. They think James Madison, but they think maybe Alexander Hamilton, so I give him credit too. Isn't that amazing? Federalist Paper 62, it's a blurb from that, a paragraph from that. It will be little avail to you if the laws are made by men that you have elected into office and as a republic, if the laws are so big that they can't be read or so confusing that they can't be understood. I froze in place when I heard that. I thought, this is the problem with America today. I believe you can take any issue that we are dealing with, overly burdensome regulation, threats to our Bill of Rights, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Obamacare Act, the Patriots Act, the Immigration Bill, Dodd-Frank, these incredible agencies that have been, approved by Congress and built by Congress and made by Congress that are now giving us more regulations than even Congress. It all begins with the bills being so big. And this is a nonpartisan effort here. It's nonpartisan. You can tell your Democrat friends, your liberal friends, constitutionalists, libertarians, Republicans, conservatives, everybody. This is a problem for all of us because bills are being passed in Washington, D.C. that your representative may not know. Some of them could kind of figure it out, but let me tell you something. Even the most brilliant ones that are there that have law degrees or were judges don't have time to read these bills. These bills are huge. I was visiting with a congressman on the Hill last week. He put one in my lap. It was just mammoth. When you open it up, it's all in U.S. legal code. So it's like subject to paragraph 610 3, 4, 5 of U.S. Legal Code 2621. No one can understand what's in it. Bills are being passed with our good intentioned representatives listening to staff members interpret what are in them, or bureaucrats. Okay, you didn't elect a bureaucrat to go up there and make these laws. You elected your official to go, your representative from your community to go make these laws, but they can't. They can't do it because they're too confusing. And listen, I met with about 10 or 11, 12 of them. They're all up on my Twitter with whom I met. They all had great ideas, but they're perplexed. They don't feel they can do anything about it, but you and I can. Please sign this petition, and we can make a difference with our voices. Even if it takes 5 or 10 years or constitutional amendment, we can have a constitutional convention. We can do this. So here's my actual Truth Act, okay? The Truth Act, this is what I wrote here, makes the bills simple, not voluminous, and easy to understand, not incoherent, for both legislators and the American people. Thus, it will be beneficial to the people and to the republic that laws are made by men of their own choice. Now, truth is an acronym, and the first T stands for this. The bills, including amendments put forth by legislators, are to be limited to single subjects and 30 pages, with U.S. legal code interpretations in the side margins. An accompanying version of the bill is to be written in 5th grade reading level for easy and nationwide comprehension. The R in truth. The bills and consequent amendments are to be read by the legislators. The new amendments are to be underlined with the old version included for clarity. They are to be available for the American people to read, that's you, at least 30 days before voting. The U in truth. The bills and consequent amendments are to be understood by the legislators. T, the second T in truth. Before voting on the bills, congressmen and senators are to testify under oath that they have read and understood the bills and consequent amendments to the bills. H in truth. The American people are to hear the proposed and final versions of the bills. The bills are to be read on camera and put online so the people may hear as well as read the bill at least 30 days before voting on the bill occurs. And this is what I go on to say. The indeterminably disastrous effects of such voluminous and incoherent bills, such as the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, Dodd-Frank, the Patriot Act, and the upcoming immigration bill, are all examples of bills that were or are too voluminous and incoherent for both legislators and the American people, leading to America's demise and Americans' loss of liberty. So I hope you'll join me and sign this petition. You can print it eventually. You'll be able to print it. You'll be able to pass it out in your community. You can put it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your email list. It's a nonpartisan document. You can not be afraid to send it to people that are of the left or right or whatever your friends may be. Please sign this petition. You know, single subjects are very, very important. The U.S. legal code that will really help our representatives, your representatives, to have that interpretation of the legal code on the side. Because right now, if there's a legal code 6, 7, 8, 10, legal code 2226, they've got to go find a book and understand what that means. These codes should be on the side margins, as well as an accompanying version of the bill for easy access for the legislators to go, okay, what does this exactly mean? And it should be written at fifth grade reading level, because that's what they write books, primarily book authors want these days. But also be easy access for them, but easy access for you and me to be able to read. What's the point? They were very proud of themselves for putting these bills up online 3 days before voting. But what's the point? People have arrived at town halls going, well, I tried to read it, but I couldn't. It's legal code. Our representatives can't even read it. So what's the point of putting it online if we can't understand it? So I want it 30 days in advance, but also in fifth grade reading level so we can understand it. Also, amendments are being passed with these bills. I've been learning so much. But when they plop down the new book in the senator or representative's office and it said this is the one including the amendments, they don't know where the amendments, when the old version was. They can't compare. They can't proofread it. They can't go look and see, now where was that amendment and what was the old version? So I am recommending that when they make amendments to these bills, the old version's included for clarity, and that the amendment is underlined. I mean, we're looking at like 600-page bills that go up to 1,000 pages and 2,700 pages and all this. This is why it's so confusing, which is why I think it should be single subjects and 30 pages. And even then, these amendments should be underlined and the old version is put in for clarity. And I don't know. This is all American common sense to me. I think your representative, my representative, they should read these bills before voting. They should understand them, and they're just not, because they just can't. And they should testify. Let them testify under oath that they've read it. And I would love somehow to get this read so we can hear it, we can watch it, we can read it. Just like in the olden days when the United States Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were read over balconies to the people. It's just a visual of all. We love the visual aspects today in our culture, and we should be able to hear it and see it as well. So this is my goal. I pray, please join me, sign the petition. I don't know how long this is going to take us, but I believe this is the root of all America's evils right now. These bills are too big, left, right leaning, however you are. The bills are just too big. Democrats could be passing bills that Republicans wrote that they don't know what's in it, and vice versa. It's just bad all the way around, and we need to simplify it. And you know what I believe? I believe it can be done, and I can believe it can be done with your voice. I don't know how long it's going to take us, but it can be done, and I plan on getting it done one way or another. So thanks for your support. Please spread the word with this MP3 or with the actual website link or print it off the website, whatever you want to do. Please spread the word. Thanks so much.